guys? Welcome back. Another Get the Let Out Fridays. And today we're going to talk about 5 just essential Jimmy Page licks. Now I focus a lot on his riffs because he's just one of my favorite riff writers of all time. But he's got some pretty dang... Okay, he's a legend. Of course he has sweet runs and licks and all these cool things. So we're going to dive into those. There are tabs down below if you want to check that out. And I want to let you guys know this will be the last Get the Let Out Friday for a while. I'll come back to it. But don't worry, I'm going to replace it with another band for a while, because they just take a little break. We've done it for 3 months now, I think, and we've done a lot of Led Zeppelin videos. And we're just going to move on into another band. So at the end of the video, I will tell you guys who is up next, and you're going to see, you know, these themed videos on Fridays from this other band. So let's go ahead and jump on into these. Make sure you got your guitars in tune, you know, strung low, and of course, if you're playing a Les Paul, middle position, baby. Alright, now you might have noticed, you know, those lead heads out there, probably noticed that 3 of these licks are all from Moby Dick. And it's because those are just, to me, some of Page's coolest riffs. I know it's a big drum solo, but man, talk about sweet, sweet licks that are in there. And they're totally Pageified. You know, they're kind of like classic, you know, licks, but they're all paged out. So the first one was this little spin, and I just like the bounce and swing that Page had to... You know, I mean, that's just cool. So essentially what's happening here, I don't know if he does a double stop on that last part, so I don't know if I tabbed it out that way. You can or you can't. Do what you want, man. That's what Page does. So basically we're going to start here in our D minor pentatonic scale. The first 3 licks here are all D minor. Well, I guess that one's kind of D major, but they're all based out of the key of D. And so he's starting out very traditional, this very traditional blues lick. So he's bending 12 on the G up a full step. Now he goes to 10 on the B. Here's where it starts twisting a little bit. So he doesn't go, and he doesn't go, he goes. So there's a double stop in there. So it's 12, bend up a full step on the G. Then you go to 10 on the D, 10 on the B. Now, I hit this double stop with an upstroke. So I go 10 on the high E and the B. Okay? Now, this has always been a challenging lick when I started playing guitar to get that sound. So basically what I'm doing there is I'm bending 12 up and I'm letting it fall back down, but I'm pulling off to 10. So, okay, now here is where my instinct is to go, but that's not what Page does. He lets you know right away, yo, I'm Jimmy Page. I do what I want. So he goes to 12 on the D, but then he jumps back up to the G, and he goes 12 to 10. Okay, so... Now he goes to the D string, and he goes 12, 12, 10, 12. Again, it's this swing and rhythm that he puts into it. I don't, you know, have a perfect Page feel, so make sure you listen to the song to really get his vibe. But now here he gets a double stop. He rolls his ring finger to get 12 on the G and the B. Now he might just go to 10 on the G. I did a double stop. I don't know. It has attitude to it. I like it. So we have... You know, it's a cool lick, you know, the way he's kind of breaking up. It's all about those little spaces. If you listen to it, he's not going, you know, it's not constant. There's little pauses. So maybe. Oh, there we go. As I can play it fast, but I can't play it slow. So there's the first one. That's the first little fill in Moby Dick, so check that out. Now the next lick here is another one. I think this is the second lick. The only one from Moby Dick that I didn't do was his little pull off. That one, which is a really cool lick. I was like, okay, I've done 3 of them. Let's calm down a little bit, me. So this one I found really cool because he uses a technique that's called raking. And if you're not used to this, it's an up rake, which has always given me trouble. And I just like the way it sounds. So slow it goes like. Okay? Now what's happening is he's starting off with this unison bend. So he plays 10 on the high string and 13 on the B. Like I said, this is all still D minor. Now he's going to play 10 on the high string by itself twice. Do it again. Here's where the real, the bread and butter of it comes into play. You're going to bend 13 on the high string. Now the rate, it's kind of like a sweep. Almost is really what's happening, because he's going 10, 10, 12 is where, so it's kind of hard to explain, but basically I'm just raking up, but I'm adding a very heavy palm mute. So basically that's the lick right there. But you have to add this very heavy mute. And how I'm doing that is I'm really digging in. And I'm almost like dragging my thumb on the strings. It's a cool sound. If you're not used to doing rakes, like when I bend, I rake down a lot. That. For me, it came from guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'll be honest, the first guy I saw doing the up rakes was my buddy Steve from Boston, who has a great tone with it that I don't have, but that's all that's happening there. So he's just raking up the strings, and this is again, Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of. So there's that one. Like I said, it's simple, but there's just cool little things. Sometimes just getting that one idea from a lick makes it all worth it. Now the third lick here from Moby Dick, this is, it's such a cool little page lick. So, it's just the way he's navigating that fingerboard, and it's kind of like this whole D major vibe now. So the page is always jumping major minor, but basically you're gonna play 5 on the 5 on the A string twice. Now I slide from 7 up to 9 on the A. Then you're gonna go 7 to 9 on the D. Now here is a little bit tricky. I think he hits this 3 times. Maybe he only does it twice. Now he slides up to 11, which is your major third. So here's where that major sound really starts to come to play. Well, I guess this is your third too. He rolls his finger here, 10 on the B string twice, 10 on the high string. Now he bends 13 up and lets it kind of fall back down, but you don't hear the note fall. So it's like it ascends, but it never comes back down. Then you do it again, a little bit of vibrato. I'm not tuned to drop D, so I can't really play that riff. But that's that one right there. Oh, I played it wrong that time, but you get the vibe. And he's kind of like slurring the notes together, so you really don't want it to be kind of as, neat and tidy the way that I'm playing. If you really want that page kind of like grit to it, you really got to like dig in and kind of get those notes bleeding together a little bit. All right, now we're going to leave, Moby Dick alone for a little bit, and we are going to go into Heartbreaker. I think I've taught this lick before, but it's one of my favorite page licks, and I was like, I got to do it again, because I've used variations of this lick my entire life. Basically, once I learned this lick, I was like, okay, this is like the one I'm going to use forever. And it goes like this. Now, the Heartbreaker solo is really difficult. He does all kinds of crazy stuff, but there's one lick that always jumped out to me, which you guys probably already know what it is. It's... And I don't know if he picks it all. Like, I'm doing pull-offs, but he might be picking it all. So either one's going to work. Do it however you feel. You don't have to play it just like Paige. I know, I'm sure not. So you're going to go 8 pull-off to 5 on the high string. Then you're going to go 7 pull-off 5 on the high string. So, and then you're going to go simply to 7 pull-off 5 on the B. Now this just cycles, so if you're doing pull-offs, you can kind of even get away with doing all down picks, up picks, you could alternate. For some reason, the sound that really like appeals to me is downs. I like all down picks on this lick. And because of the pull-offs, you can get away with doing that. But maybe if you like the more aggressive pick sound, you could. I would recommend picking back here a little bit more if you want to really sound like Page. He wears guitar so low. If you notice, he kind of picks back here a lot. Gives you a little bit more of that sound. But that's like a very simple one. But you see Page do variations of this lick a lot. Another one that he does that's kind of cool is the same lick. I can't remember. It might be in Lemon Song, but he goes. He does that lick, but he kind of does it up a string and adds that major third. And then he walks it up. Oh no, that's in Rock and Roll. So there you go. Now the final lick, I always like to throw in a lick that I didn't know beforehand into these videos, and that is this little run that he does in Hot Dog. And the reason I want to do it is because the pattern is very interesting. You know, Page is mostly, Page does what he wants, but he's a pentatonic kind of guy, and he's usually doing 2-note per string or some variation of that. And this was a very like 3-note per string scale idea that he was doing, and basically straight G major, like no pentatonic. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. That he does it. The lick is this. And I don't know exactly what fingers he uses for that, but I thought that was a pretty dang cool run. So essentially, if you know your 3-note per string G major scale, please play it better than what I just did. You're kind of set. So basically, what the pattern is the tricky part. So it goes 5, 4, 5, 7 on the D string. Now you're going to go back to 4 on the G. Now you walk it all the way back down. 7, 5, 4 on the D. So. Okay, so you got that far. Now you're going to do basically the entire thing again, but instead of ending on 4, you're going to end on 5. I'll show you what I mean. So here's the first time. Start over. Exact same thing, but you just don't go back down to that 4. You end on 5. So. Now what happens is he just hops down a string, but the pattern alters a little bit to kind of accommodate where the notes are. So it starts out the same, 5, 4, 5, 7. Now I shift my hand up to get ready for the next part. So I go middle, pointer, middle, pinky. Then I shift up to 5 on the B with my index finger and 7 on the G with my ring finger. So now you're going to go 5, 7, 8 on the B. So after that 7 on the G. Now you go 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 5 on the high E string, then ending on 8 on the B. A little bit tricky. I mean, like I said, look at the tabs. Okay. I just thought that was really cool. I mean, the intro, like the Hot Dog, is really difficult to play too, but that was a very interesting run. So I don't know, it's worth checking out. A little bit of a finger twister there. So check that one out. And there you guys have it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, today is the kind of the end of the Led Zeppelin Fridays here. First a little bit, we can still always get the lead out, but I want to focus on another band, and that is, of course, Van Halen. 5150 Fridays are coming at you. Of course, we're going to cover a lot more than 5150, but I don't know. It just didn't. They don't have a thing, right? Led Zeppelin. So, Van Halen. So, there you have it. So, 5150 Fridays coming at you next week. Get ready. Get your Eddie Van Halen on. It's just his birthday. Of course, if you don't know, Eddie's the reason why I ever picked up a guitar. So, I'm going to try to spend a lot of time on these and hopefully do the riffs justice. But other than that, guys, get the tabs. Check out my free guitar course. All that good stuff. And I will be seeing you on, well, if you're here Saturday night, I'll be live. So, I'll see you then, and I'll probably see you next week. So, later, homies. Peace!